Boyce is back. Sam and oh God, what's up with you? Hip Hop Uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Hip Hop Uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Oh God, driving Sam and riding passenger side, and you heard it out the mouth of the greatest rapper alive.
Interested in promoting your brand, business, or talent on Hip Hop News Uncensored? Hit me up right now at advertise@hiphopun.com. That's advertise@hiphopun.com. Hit me ASAP. Very affordable rates now to our regularly scheduled.
They will allow genocidal music that promotes the death and the murder of black people. They will put that on the airwaves and play it all day. But I dare you to say something about Jewish people. I dare you to say something about Asian people.
We've seen it.
I dare you to say something about white people. Your ass will be gone. You know, they shut Rick Ross down real quick when he pissed off the feminists, right? Michael Jackson got shut down real quick. Jay-Z got shut down real quick when they even uttered anything about the Jewish community. But you talk about black people all day, that's all right. So, so I like what Kwame's doing more than I dislike it. I cannot give a complete formative opinion because I have not watched every single video through its entirety. He's made a lot of videos and said a lot of things about a lot of people. But from what I have seen and heard, I like the general idea that he is making people talk about these issues and confront them. Jemele Hill, I felt like Jemele Hill's been full of shit for a long time.
Yeah, man, thank you.
She's a white feminist in blackface. That's what she is. And they come in here and they constantly attacking and talking crap about black men, and everybody lets it go. We know Stephen A. Stephen A. is he's owned by ESPN. Charlamagne Tha God, I had mixed feelings on that just because I can't say personally that Charlamagne has ever been disrespectful toward me, but I do know for a fact that my issues with Angela Rye, who's one of the most disrespectful people I've ever met, I believe that caused a rift in my relationship with Charlamagne. And I think Charlamagne knows that Angela's full of shit, but I didn't press him on it because Charlamagne's always been nice to me, right? So I'm not going to sit here and just bash him or talk about, all the other stuff that Kwame's talking about. I feel like that's their beef between those two. But for the most part, I think that we have to kind of really talk about the things that Kwame's bringing up in the sense of how many black people are there on TV who are handpicked by white-owned media to say certain things about black people and influence black people in certain ways. So smart people are picking up on that, and I think smart people appreciate it for good reason. So I'm actually glad Kwame's speaking. I hope he continues to do that.
Now, out of this whole thing, you had the canceled Charlamagne, people come out. What's your thoughts on those people that came out, because Kwame got that whole thing triggered again?
Yeah, I think that's a cross he has to bear. Again, like I said, Charlamagne's a great supporter of people that I love, like Dr. Claude Anderson. I think Kwame supports him also. So, I think we can agree on that. As far as what happened with this thing with the girl, that first of all, I had to be consistent on that because of the way I've sort of broken down other situations like that. Yeah. I do think evidence matters, and I think that if there's no evidence, then it's hard to really act on something as if it happened when you don't know exactly what happened. And I do think we should consider the fact that it was about 20 years ago or something like that. I mean, he was 22 years old. Let's say she's 15. She looks like she's 18. A lot of men wouldn't have been in that situation, but I know a lot of men who would have been in that situation. And I know men who've been put in that situation even by accident, even when they did take the precautions. I know when Lawrence Taylor got hemmed up, a stripper told, or she wasn't a stripper, she worked for one of those butt doctors that injects women's asses and shit. And she told me a whole story about how there was a gang of women that one of them was 15 and the other two were like 17 and 18, and they would use fake IDs to basically lure men in and the man would say, "Hey, are you really 18?" And they say, "Here's my driver's license," right? And next thing you know, they got caught up with a younger girl. Now, I personally think brothers should be more careful. I think you got to be careful about where you plant your seed and where you lay down and who you lay down with, because then you become vulnerable. But I'm not one to sit here and say that there couldn't be more to it than we think. So do I defend Charlamagne on that? I don't have the qualifications to defend him because I wasn't there. I don't know the situation. Do I think that they did suppress that because he's important in media? Yeah, I do. Do I think that Kwame has a right to push the issue? Yeah, I guess he does. And then at that point, the chips will fall where they may. And that's the furthest I can really go with that. I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, he did it, because nobody knows if he really did it. But if you say maybe she has the right to speak, why not? I mean, why hasn't she been able to really tell her story the way she wants to? And I think the public will have to work that part out, because that is a tough one.
Yeah. Well said. Yeah. Also to kind of talk about that, he kind of referenced, or Kwame referenced his family and how the media, in particular Charlamagne, when it looked like masked in trying to help Kwame Brown, brought up his father's history, brought up his brother's history, brought up a lot of history to try to make this huge black man look like he's a monster. And when he comes on here and articulates himself with emotion, that they're going to trigger and see just that. And then that gets in the airwaves. I'm glad that he broke that down. What do you think about that, that aspect of it, how the media puts things subconsciously in all of our brains who watch it to demonize, in particular, the black man? Jamel Hill as well. I'm glad you brought her up.
Well, I mean, just look at the way they deal with Farrakhan. You know, they banned Farrakhan from social media claiming that he promotes violence. And Farrakhan does not promote violence. He's not a violent man, but he's an honest man. And he's honest about America's history. He's honest about the things that that a lot of black folks on TV cannot say. You know, they for example, these people can't even really talk about reparations, not for real, you know, and but the community's talking about it. So I think the bigger question is to ask these black celebrities on TV, why is it that there are things the community's talking about that you're not talking about? And I think that with Kwame in his whole family thing, I didn't see everything Charlamagne said about that, but I did see Charlamagne apologize. Yeah. And that apology to me says, okay, so what you're saying is that you did something that was wrong. And then I did see Kwame's response where he did not accept the apology and felt that Charlamagne had overstepped and that Charlamagne had painted him in a certain way deliberately. You know, and is that the case? Well, you know, I think that is true. I think that at that point, I think Charlamagne will probably agree that he shouldn't have even addressed any of that. And I think also the fact that he came out on the air with bad information is a problem. You know, when you talk about something that's serious about somebody's family, you better have your I's dotted and your T's crossed. And it sounds like they did not have that done. And it sounds like it made it worse. It's made it worse for Charlamagne because now Kwame is coming back, not accepting the apology and doubling down on his original statement that the lady needs to be heard. And I think that having her heard is the thing that they're afraid of. They don't even they don't want anybody talking about it at all. And I think that if she's part of the black community, which she is, then her story needs to be heard too. I just encourage anybody that's listening to listen to all sides though. Like don't just pick a side in advance because these things can be very complicated, right? So I think overall though, you know, right now Kwame's winning, you know, and is that going to continue? I don't know. But I do think that if you walk away from all of this without taking in some of what he's saying and applying that to our media, then you're missing the whole point, because at the end of the day, some of the stuff he's saying about some of our black media outlets being controlled or black media figures being controlled by these white people behind the scenes, that's completely true. You know, that's why, for example, you don't see guys like myself or Dr. Claude Anderson and others in the media. They'll bring some fucking clown on and talking about the stuff that we're supposed to be experts in, but this person knows nothing about it. But they pick those people because they're safe. They love the safe Negro. And that is what Kwame's pointing out. And I'm glad he's doing that.
Yeah, very, very powerful.